Welcome once again to the Bountiful Chest. I am Shadow, and I'm going to eventually do a number of videos on, you know, problems in role plays, problem kinds of players, and situations where you're going to have to make a decision on how to deal with people. But I think it's important. You really have to do this while I'm making a video. Uh, but it's important to understand uh, what you should do when someone cheats, someone breaks rules, someone disrupts the game. And it sometimes when you're all with friends, you can just talk it out. Oh, okay, I didn't mean to do that. Let's change this. Sometimes you can't, even with friends, as has occurred at several tables I've been at, and numerous online games. I've seen friendships end over someone being petty. But it, you know, the thing with punishment is, well, first of all, there has to be punishment for breaking rules, or else are there even rules? I know some people kind of allow some dice fudging. If it's a game where they're never going to see this person again afterwards, and they really feel that strongly about fudging that dice roll. But depending on the game, depending on the setting, it can be really unfair to everyone else at the table. Uh, but we shouldn't always have to resort to just kicking everyone. So, what are some easy ways to handle punishment to well, I guess first we have to stop. When someone breaks a rule, we have to say, hey, did this, you're not supposed to. Now, if it's just, oops, I made a mistake, or, oh, I didn't realize that rule was there, uh, you can walk things back and fix it. And it's easier to do that than to start a whole fight or, you know, make someone not trust the leadership, the admins or mods or dungeon masters of the game. Um, I've I've seen some people get punished for stupid things. Uh, there was one game where it was a rule that was buried about uh, character designs, and you know it it was a DeviantArt game, and so you made your character profile page, and so you drew a picture of your character, and they had to be in the uniform, and well, one of the rules was don't modify the uniform, except it was buried a little bit in. Um, we had two instances of people that broke that rule. Uh, the first person literally completely missed the rule. And it was unfortunate because at the time we had one of the mods that was all too eager to just, as she put it, drag someone over the coals. The mod's own words, dragging someone over the coals. Um, be wary of a game where someone is a little too eager to dole out punishments, because it's usually a bad sign. But especially harsh. Her situation could have been solved by saying, "Hey, there was this rule. Were you not aware? Oh, you weren't. Why weren't you aware? Oh, let's make sure that rule's up at the forefront." That could have been solved real easy. the other person that broke that rule, he had a number of other issues that were apparent after the fact, but he pretty much just blasted everyone for telling him what to do, and the only solution was to get rid of that person. But in if you can solve by just a simple, quick conversation, that's the best way to solve it. Don't even need a punishment unless this is a repeated behavior that they're acting as though, oh well, I never knew that. It's been 3 months of game, Janet. You should know the rules by now. So okay, always talk it out. Establish what was done wrong, why it's a problem, and why you shouldn't do it again. Um, but if someone is consistently breaking a rule, like faking dice rolls, fudging dice rolls, cheating dice rolls, and there are ways, and um, we had someone that we didn't realize got us by just having their dice up at a certain number. Oh yeah, I rolled. Except no one was looking when they rolled because they just set the dice up. Uh, for D&D 5e, I think a simple solution to that is like if it's a problem that this player is consistently trying to cheat rolls, I would say just okay, your next 3 rolls are disadvantage. Oh, but I have advantage on this roll. Well, no, you don't. You still have to get through your disadvantage rolls for cheating. Uh, you know. Now, though, I think most of them will grumble about it, but it's like, hey, if you don't cheat, you won't get punished. Uh, could that make some people feel like getting disadvantage is a mechanic in the game and it occurs, and you try everything to get around having disadvantage and trying to get advantage. Uh, but so it may be a very harsh punishment to instill multiple disadvantage rolls. They don't necessarily have to be in combat rolls, but for someone that's fudging their dice rolls, forcing them to have to roll 2 and take the lowest, it's a lesson. Um, there are also other numerous ways you can handle various ways of cheating in game. Like someone keeps trying to rewrite their stats, rewrite their equipment, other things like that. Um, one of course, I think some people go quickly to just off the character, force them to reroll. Uh, and I'll say, if they've been playing the character for a while, maybe not. But if they've brought a character sheet to you that is obviously got too much on it, or those stats are all 18s, um, certainly force them to re-roll a character. Uh, it can be the same exact character, just force them to re-roll the stats, force them to redo equipment, things of that nature. Um, the big problems is when it's not just cheating, but it's like table disruptive behavior though, and that you know, as a DM, you eventually have to make a decision of who you are going to worry about when certain behaviors occur. Uh, I have seen games that have had one person minding their business, but 3 people always being upset at them. Uh, that actually led to someone ousting the board. It was a forum game. Uh, the admin got ousted because the guy that was primarily running the party through stuff basically created a new forum, told the other people, "Oh, there's something wrong with that forum. Just come over here." Uh, but it there was so much drama involved in that, and unfortunately, the admin had let it fester because he was trying to appease the two or three people that were, you know, dumping on one other player. They they basically the admin and the other players started doing their own storyline because the other people wouldn't play with her, but they were still causing problems over her being in the game. And I think the admin should have made a decision on, I can't let you be dumping on her just for being here. But, that becomes a situation of, how do you rectify it? Do you kick someone out? Do you just, you know, give someone a timeout? Do you give someone a penalty? There's no easy answer there because every one of those situations is going to be dependent on the people that are in there and what you make your decision be. Unfortunately, I know there are situations where people will ask the one player, even if they're not doing anything wrong, to leave the game instead of reprimanding the three. Uh, there are a lot of people that go path of least resistance. It's not right, but it's a choice. Would that we could all just play a game and not have drama. But that's everyone's own call to make in the end. Um, it shouldn't result in it shouldn't have to result in a complete change of leadership of who's running the game just because someone's upset it wasn't being run their way with the people they chose to play with. It's like, honestly, I don't know why he didn't just go make his own game in the first place. uh and that's one thing. If being a player, if you feel the rules aren't being followed to your desire specification, sometimes it is easier to find a new game or, you know, run your own than to sit around and watch, either, rampant favoritism or cheating or whatever else happen in the game. Because, as you know, if a DM is deciding something that is that you find unfair as a player, you may just have to leave. And to all the dungeon masters and game masters and admins and stuff, realize that if you do a bunch of favoritism, allowing cheating and other problem behaviors in your game, some of your players may start leaving. And really, they should. Um, I mean, in the end, there is no one answer to when it is good to toss someone out, when it is good to, well, what level of punishment to give. You have to basically decide those rules for yourself and your game. As far as I know, the player's handbook and the dungeon master guide doesn't have any. Does it have something directly? Maybe I'll review it. But there's we play games to have fun. Sometimes people's fun, unfortunately, is you know, breaking the game even by cheating outright. And that can just not be fun for everyone else. So I think I've rambled on that enough for this video. Um, so if there's anything in here that you think I should talk more on, should go into, you know, any subject that you think I missed, any other topics you think I should cover about role playing games, uh, just leave me a comment and I will take your input. Thank you all. Uh, have some great adventures.